Hey, everybody. That's right, man. Welcome back to the Bowfishing Buzz, episode 66, brought to you by AMS Bowfishing and
Megamouth Bowfishing as well.
How's it going, Schmitty?
It's going good. It's going good. It feels good to be back in the lab up here.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah.
You
so
bet.
It's, well, we're sticking to our 2-week schedule.
We're still sticking to it, Schmitty.
When we don't do it for a week, I kind of miss it a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
I actually feel like I've been gone for a long time because I was gone all last week on vacation.
Yeah.
Down in Missouri. So It seems like I've been gone for a long time. But yeah, we've got we actually got a pretty cool podcast this week.
Yep.
You want to tell us a little bit about this podcast, Eric?
Sure. So we actually we as you know, Matt, we try to get as many of these in the can as we can, but that doesn't necessarily always happen just because we're always doing fresh content that has recently happened. Yeah. You'll go on a trip, or you'll shoot a tournament, or we'll go on a filming trip, or there's a big tournament somewhere in the bowfishing world that we want to cover, or a topic that we want to talk about. But the podcast you guys are actually going to hear today was filmed back in May, actually. It's with Mallory Potter. I give her a good intro, and you guys are going to learn about Mallory more when we dive into the previously recorded one, but I just want everybody to know this was a previously recorded podcast.
Yeah.
What you'll hear later in this one. We're talking live here just to give you guys a little bit of an insight of what you guys will be hearing. But yeah, it's a cool episode. It's a little bit of a different guest than what we usually have on, but I learned a lot, and I think it was an entertaining interview for sure.
Hey, she loves bowfishing, right?
Oh, yeah. She's... Yeah. When I see her Instagram page, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't shoot nearly as many fish because she's out shooting all kinds of stuff.
Snakeheads and everything.
Snakeheads, goldfish, catfish, frogs. She's eating frogs that she shoots.
Oh, sweet.
So yeah, it's a pretty entertaining. It's a cool episode.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Very cool.
And there's also just listen for that when we play that interview with her, there's a discount code in there.
Yep.
A pretty good one too. So just be listening for that. You won't want to miss that. So
and also for our listeners out there, remember that we're going to also be doing a video podcast of all of our podcasts. So you can watch them on our YouTube channel. You can watch them on Carbon TV.
Absolutely.
We actually just had Calling All Gators.
Yes.
On our last episode on Carbon TV.
Yep.
Jana Waller.
Yep.
Is out there down in Florida, and she sticks a nice gator at dark. We tried calling one in, and I missed. I had a perfect point blank shot, and I missed.
Sure.
We had a close encounter with a big one. Really cool. You know, like I said, we tried to get those gators to come in. We had our opportunities. I missed on an easy shot, so we ended up going out at nighttime under the lights, and or not really under the lights because you turn the lights way down when you're spotting for gators. So, but Jana shoots a gator. It's pretty cool excitement down there. Yeah. She had a blast down there. So if you want, you can check out that episode as well. Calling All Gators.
Yeah, and I will say too, Matt, just in watching that episode, Jana does such a good job at explaining, like, you'll be in the middle of the action, okay? You've got a gator closing in, or you guys are right in the middle of it.
With all the stuff going on.
Yes, it's hectic. You've got a chase boat, cameraman on the boat, the guide was with you, you're with Jana. It's just, all this is happening at the same time. And her frame of mind, she's so good at what she does. You can tell that she's done this at such a high level. She has the state of mind to be able to turn to the camera and go, all right, guys, here's what's going on. And she gives you that really good insight into exactly what's happening currently in that video, instead of it just being, a run of what's happening, which is cool in itself, but you can hear what she's thinking, what you guys are doing. It's really cool. I noticed that she was spectacular at that.
One thing that does, Derek, is it brings the person that's watching that into that scene.
They're right in the boat with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool episode. So check that out.
Before we get started, Derek, I gotta bring something up that I was watching here last week leading up to last weekend.
Okay.
And I thought it was really cool. All right. So they had the 2023 Cajun Classic Bowfishing Tournament down south.
Sure.
All right. This past weekend.
Yep.
Leading up to it, years back when we would have tournaments, there'd be a lot of smack talk back and forth and all this stuff, and we kind of lost. There's not much of that going on anymore. You don't hear people, lips are sealed tight. Nobody know where they're at and stuff like that. There, when it comes to bowfishing tournaments, and the bowfishing tournaments have gone mute leading up to the tournaments.
Okay, gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Sure. There's not as much conversation leading up to.
Yeah, there's not as much trash talk and ribbing or what's going on and stuff. One thing that I watched last week was actually pretty cool.
Okay.
Bubba Suggs, or Hoopty from Texas, big bow fisherman. He's been bow fishing for years. He does a great job. And he, lifestyle changes, and you can't get out as much as you'd like to anymore.
Right.
But he was huge. I remember when I was just getting into bow fishing, he was huge. And when I saw him in Kentucky the first year I went to Worlds, I saw him. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's Bubba Hoopty Suggs. You know, I thought, oh my gosh,
What
you
a
know?
name, first of all.
Yeah.
Bubba Hoopty Suggs.
Yeah.
That guy shoots fish right there
shoots
with
fish,
that
that's
name.
right.
Yeah.
And then he got hooked up with Alan Yater.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
And there was not much talking for this year, you know, for the tournament stuff. So they had a little, they made a little bet before the tournament.
Okay.
They each would get in one boat, and for 1 hour, they were filming, and whoever shot the most fish was the winner.
Oh,
for
really?
1 hour. Yeah.
And so they have like a little side pot of their own, well, in another tournament itself.
Yeah,
kind
well,
of.
it was just, you know, hey, let's do, you know,
Yeah,
let's get some
okay.
talking,
Yep.
you know, let's get some stuff going on for the tournament stuff.
Sure.
And so they filmed the whole thing. They both got in one boat a couple nights before the tournament, and they went
Oh,
and
my
shot.
gosh.
And the loser had to wear a dress. Yeah, it's
Okay.
just, that's,
Sure.
I really thought that was cool.
Yeah.
I thought, you know, we're losing, we're getting too much on the always wanting to win
Sure.
instead of going and having fun.
Just having a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was kind of cool.
That's
I
neat.
thought that
Okay.
was pretty cool.
Sure. What were the results of that little?
I think Alan won 68-57.
Oh my gosh! Wow, that's a
Yeah.
lot of fish.
Yeah. They were shooting small little gar, you know,
Sure,
and stuff.
sure.
But I just thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's neat.
You know, you don't see that anymore because, oh my God, I don't want to lose to you. And
Yeah.
I don't want that to be seen on TV.
Right.
Or I don't want that to be seen on social media.
Yeah. What if I lose? That'd be embarrassing.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
And
Right.
just go and have fun.
Yeah,
So I thought that was pretty cool. I really enjoyed that, and I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that's kind of neat. That's kind of
Yeah.
yeah. We should do more of that. That's
But-
kind of interesting.
But then also getting into the Cajun Classic, I just have to run through some of these numbers because I was totally shocked when I saw some of these numbers coming in from this tournament.
Okay.
All right. So numbers. Okay, Derek?
Mm-hmm.
This is numbers. First place, Natural Disaster, shot 1,941 fish
oh my gosh, almost 2,000 fish.
in a one-night tournament. Yeah.
Oh my Lord.
I think they broke like 4 records that night of the tournament for as far as numbers go for a one-night tournament.
Gosh.
Second place, Derek. All right. Game Changers shot 1,837.
Could you imagine shooting 1,800 fish and taking second place in a numbers tournament?
Right. So 1837 was second place.
Yep.
Third place, Team Finessin, 1,836.
Shut up. Are you
I
serious?
sure hope they didn't get home and find the fish underneath the deck or in the back of the boat or
gosh.
under a piece of aluminum somewhere or something.
One fish
One
difference?
fish, yeah.
What are the odds you get that high of a number that there's a one fish difference?
Right. In fact, all top 6 teams shot over 1,000 fish.
Oh my gosh.
And one of the reasons I'm bringing this up also is because one of our good friends, Maverick Riley, went down there and shot in tournament.
Wild shot.
Wild child.
Yeah.
And we're going to try to get him on to talk about his trip down because it was like all of a sudden, when I was down in Missouri, all of a sudden I got a snap from Maverick. It's like Thursday night, and he's driving down there to shoot in a tournament. So he like left
Down
Thursday.
in Louisiana?
Yeah, I
is the
think
tournament?
I believe that's where it was at. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
So we're going to try to get Maverick on one of our next podcasts to tell him talk about that because he finished 5th and they had like 1,300 and some fish. He said it was crazy. He said, you know, it
That's
was just
wild.
crazy.
Yeah.
So we'd have to get him on and talk about the tournament down there.
Sure.
Big 20, Derek. First place, outdoor Revelation.
Okay.
952.9 pounds.
And that's a big 20. My
Big 20.
gosh.
Now, they can shoot gator gar.
Okay,
You can weigh in
gotcha.
your gator gar.
Okay,
down there,
okay.
Second place, Mission at Ease, 937.6 pounds. Third place, Team TKO, 886.5
Okay.
pounds.
Wow.
Big Fish, 176.2 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah. And the cool thing about it is, like, I was looking at Tommy Woods' pictures. They're weighing in gator gar, silver carp, buffs, you know, grass carp.
Lots of variety.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
cool deal.
Good Lord.
We might have to make a trip and run down there sometime.
I was going to say, what in the
Because-
world are we missing out on down there? That sounds amazing.
because some of those silvers were big.
Really?
Yeah, some of the silvers that I saw them guys holding up were big silvers.
Sure.
And the grassies. And here's buffs that you got, you know, where you're out scouting, they showed videos of buffs swimming around in the water and stuff.
Sure.
But how cool is that? You gator gar, silvers, buffs, grassies.
You never know what you're going to roll up on.
And then those numbers are just mind-boggling,
yeah,
you know?
that's crazy. Good Lord.
Yeah.
And those are big weights.
We need to
huge
go
weights.
We need to go down there.
All right, let's leave today.
All right, let's go.
Let's go. Okay, we'll see you later.
Bye. Yep.
Oh, man.
Yep. But yeah, so we're going to try to get Maverick Riley on here, Wild Child, and sit down and join us because that was one of our popular podcasts this year.
Did very well,
was
yes.
Maverick on there, the old Wild Child.
Yeah, and we'll have to ask him about his viral video that's going on out there.
Oh boy.
We won't. Maybe we'll show it in the video portion when we have him on. But I just got one word for you: airborne.
Cannon.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Maverick Riley. Oh yeah.
Yep. So, and then just a couple more things here, Derek. We just got the new boat wrap on the AMS Megamouth boat. We just finished up with the new boat wrap.
Yep.
Matte black.
Yep.
White lettering on there.
It's like a if I had to summarize it, it's a classic, sleek, clean look.
Yeah.
It looks awesome. The white logos really pop on that matte black. Jordan Miller did a great job for us putting it on there. So
Miller graphics and design.
Yep. So he's he did a great job there. I'm looking forward to seeing what it looks like while we're out in the water, taking some pictures and whatnot.
Kevin here in house designed it.
Yep, Kevin does a fantastic job. He got all these different options for us, and it makes it hard when he's got 5 options for us, and each one's as cool as the last.
Right.
You're like, oh my gosh, how do we decide on this?
Now guess what? Now I get to go scratch it up when I'm loading it and unloading it. And
Yeah.
scratching down trees and limbs and
It's
stuff
as good as it's going to look right now.
It's not going to look any.
It's not going to get shined up anymore.
But
nice. That's what a bowfishing boat is all about right there. So,
Yep.
But yeah.
Yep. And we also got finished up on the aqua traction in the boat, so everything is done in the boat. But we have one other big change that we're doing to the boat, putting some new lights on.
Putting some new lights, some efficiency lights.
We had Christopher James on here a couple of podcasts back.
Yep.
And we're going to get that transferred over to efficiency lights. They're made right here in Wisconsin.
So cool. So cool. We got you got a new fish finder unit on there. We'll be able to just kind of
that's right.
Be able to see where we're at a little bit better because there'll be some times when we're on a trip or something and we'll be going along and I'll look over the side of the boat, Matt's driving, and I'm like, wow, Matt must really know where he's going because I just saw a stump. I'll be like, Matt, how much water are we in? And the response is, I don't know, the transducer doesn't work. I'm like, oh, jeez. Oh, okay. All right. Well, it never really bit us that bad, but now we'll have a little bit better knowledge on where we're at.
Right.
But yeah.
And then, this week and this Saturday, Schmitty, is the last Wisconsin Bowfishing tournament this year down on the Mississippi River, pools 8, 9, 10, 11. So if you're looking for one more tournament to shoot in, join us down in Prairie du Chien.
Absolutely. And you'll be shooting in that, correct?
Yep, I'm heading down on Thursday.
Cool.
Heading down on Thursday to stay with Jody and do a little scouting and do some fishing also on the river.
Yeah. Just a little something there too, Matt. We're talking about podcasts that have done really well. The first couple, I think it was one of our first
top
3. And I think it was maybe podcasts like 3 and 4 or 2 and 3 that we did. We had a tournament talk with Jody, and then we had a tournament talk, the second portion of it. We had 2 of them right back to back. Those podcasts have performed amazing for us. Jody was spectacular. So if you guys are looking for some in-depth tournament talk, maybe you guys haven't been listening to us for the duration that we've had the podcast. One of our first couple episodes, Jody does a fantastic job breaking it down. They're a very good listen if you're looking for tournament info.
Just think about that, Schmitty. That was 5 years ago.
That blows my mind. That blows my mind. I feel like we've been doing it for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And we've been doing it for 5 years. That blows my mind. That's crazy.
Yep.
That's awesome, though. That's very cool.
But I think it's time now to get into the interview you had with Mallory Potter.
Yeah, and actually, just so everybody knows, too, I'll touch on it. It's a solo. I'm doing it by myself, actually, because you were gone. You were shooting fish, and as soon as I was done recording it with her, I actually hopped in a vehicle with Kevin and some cameras, and we went down to do stuff. So it's a solo Mallory Derek podcast. But so yeah, I think maybe we'll jump to a commercial break here, and when we come back, you guys will be listening to that previously recorded podcast with myself and Mallory.
That's right. So after this commercial break,
enjoy
Mallory and Derek talking bowfishing.
There we go.
Why I Bowfish. Hunting fish with a bow. Non-stop action. Never slow. By day, by night. Great shots. Great fights. With family, with friends. Trash talk never ends. And kids, they love it. If they miss, think nothing of it. By foot, by boat, by board or canoe. How you do it is up to you. Aim low. Shoot fast. Watch your shadow. Watch the grass. Shoot carp, raise or gar. Shoot 'em close. Shoot 'em far. Stout arrow. Barb tip. Retrieve a reel. Let it rip. Bowfishing. Give it a shot.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Bowfishing Buzz podcast presented by AMS Bowfishing and Megamouth Bowfishing. I'm here. My name's D. Schmitty, as Matthew always calls me. I'm here with Matthew here. Matt, you have anything you'd like to say about the podcast today? No?
Well, Matt's a little shy. He was out on the water all night last night. When he doesn't get proper sleep, he's a little bit shy. He's not as good on the podcast as he is when he gets a full 8 hours of beauty sleep for him. But no, I'm just kidding. That is a mannequin with a fish mask on. Matt is actually down. He got a call yesterday. He had to attend a Speedo convention down in Tuscaloosa. So, yeah, he bailed on me here. He's down trying on some Speedos. I don't know. Doesn't seem like he has his priorities straight if you ask me. But what are you going to do, you know? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing around with you guys. Matt got a call yesterday. Weather's getting prime up here in Wisconsin. Matt is actually down shooting some fish right now. I'm going to be busting out of here in the next hour or two. We're going to go down there. We got a bunch of cameras, a bunch of people down there. We're going to go down there and do some filming. So, yeah, Matt's down there shooting some fish. I love doing the podcast, but if there's one thing I like doing more than the podcast, it might be shooting fish. So, I don't know about that. But welcome back, everybody. You're going to get a solo episode here with Derek here. Episode, I don't even know when we're going to release this one. We're just going to try to get as many in the can here as possible. We've got a lot of things coming down the chute here. We got a bunch of filming stuff going on here. The Big 20 is in 3 weeks. It just kind of gets to be our crazy time of year. But, yeah, we're doing the best we can to bring you guys content. We've got a great podcast today. We kind of have a different guest on today by the name of Mallory Grace Potter. She lives down in Georgia. She's always out on the East Coast shooting fish. We kind of got in contact through Instagram, Mallory, and myself here. We've been talking back and forth. She's always sending us just awesome videos. She's got the Megamouth reel on, and she does a great job as far as really knowing how to use the reel. She's out there. She's big on social media influencer. Absolutely, you could call her that. So, yeah, that's who we're going to have on today. But just want to give a little bit of a discount code for you guys, as we do in every podcast. So, for this podcast, the discount code is going to be for if you place an order on the AMS or Megamouth website of $100 or more, you will receive a free hat. How cool is that? We love when we see you guys out there repping the Megamouth and AMS brand. That's so cool. That discount code is PRIZE100, PRIZE 100. Use that at checkout, and you will get yourself sent a free hat with your order. Everybody's ordering, getting ready for the busy time of year. Why not have a free hat thrown in there? Take advantage of that. That'll run here probably for 6 or 7 days after we release this podcast, so be on the outlook for that too. So I've got a couple questions here. We're going to see if we can give Mallory a call here and get right into the episode here. All right, let's see what Mallory has to say. All right, here we go.
Hello.
Hi, is this Mallory?
It is.
Hey, Mallory, this is Derek with the Bowfishing Buzz podcast. How you doing today, Mallory?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us this week. We've been trying to work this out for you for a couple weeks now, just kind of having some scheduling conflicts here. I think I just sent you a message here probably 10 minutes ago letting you know that it's going to be a solo podcast, but we very much appreciate you making time to come on with us.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. That's no problem at all. So I guess we're just going to start out here, Mallory. Our audience, they don't know you as well as we do. We always see those cool pictures, videos that you're always posting on Instagram. Just to start out, tell us a little bit about yourself. Like I said, we see you all the time on social media, but just let the audience really know who Mallory Potter is, will you?
Yeah, well, I've lived in Georgia my whole life and grew up in a really small town, so I pretty much spent my whole childhood and everything outside, just being in the outdoors, and grew up.
Yep.
I actually grew up bass fishing.
Oh, okay.
With a rod and reel, yeah, and then picked up a bow, and it all changed from there.
There you go. That's a story that we hear a lot. A lot of guys start out fishing. A lot of guys and girls start out fishing, and pretty soon they get bit by the bowfishing bug.
Oh yeah, it's way better, way more exciting.
Yeah. Instead of waiting for the fish, you're hunting them down.
Yes.
So let me ask you this, Mallory, just because I can hear that Georgia accent. Do I have an accent to you? Do I sound goofy, kind of like you sound a little bit goofy to me?
Yeah, you do. You do have an accent. I never realized it because I never really go up north that much. But
Sure.
Where are y'all from?
We're from central Wisconsin. We're way up north.
Oh, yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do have an accent.
Okay. All right. Just because whenever we go on filming trips or down to trade shows or anything, we're always talking to people and they can always pinpoint that accent, But
yeah.
everybody always guesses, oh, are you guys from Minnesota? Well,
I was gonna say that. You do kind of sound like it.
that's pretty close. That's pretty close. But yeah, that's just so strange. We sound totally normal up here, and you guys are the guys with a little bit of a drawl down there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I hear myself talking sometimes, and I'm like, how do people even understand me? Because I feel like my words kind of run together sometimes.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Mallory. I'm a little jealous, to be honest with you. I think
Are you?
I think it sounds cool. Absolutely.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I don't sound too goofy then.
Yeah. You sound good. You sound good. So I guess just next question here, Mallory. How did you get into bow fishing? Like, how old were you? What kind of got you started?
Well, I haven't been bow fishing that long. I think I started a little over 2 years ago. I've always wanted to try it, but one of my friends was like, "Hey, you want to go with us?" And so I went, and it was funny because I shot 2 fish the first time I ever went.
Okay.
And then after that, I went like probably 6 or 7 times and couldn't hit a thing. And it made me so mad. And I was like, it's my life mission to be able to be decent at this now.
Yep. I hear you. I still remember the first time I was, I went to school with the owners here at AMS, their son, and they took me out when I was, 11, 12 years old. And
cool.
I was up on the deck just slinging fiberglass as much as I could, and I couldn't hit anything. And then the Jeff here, he shot a fish, and he let me bring it in. He let me just reel the fish in. I literally did nothing but just lift it into the boat. I felt like I was ready to go pro.
You thought that was it after
yeah.
that, huh?
Oh, yeah.
That's
I was ready to sign autographs and be on all kinds of banners and posters just because I lifted a fish into the boat.
That's funny.
Yeah. Yep. Mallory, what would you say your favorite aspect, your favorite part of bow fishing is?
Besides like it being such a tight knit, I feel like it's a really tight knit community.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I've met some of my closest friends through bow fishing.
Yeah.
And I like that it opens doors for you to be able to go and explore new areas of the United States and different states and meet new people from all over. And it's, like we said earlier, it's fast paced. You can be loud. There's always some action going on.
Mm-hmm. I think one of the biggest things is like up here, we're big into deer hunting up here. You know, from September to December, we're sitting in a tree stand trying to not make a noise, not moving at all. And it's like once that season comes around that we can get out on a big, loud fan boat, generators running, trolling along, it's like, oh my gosh, it's like such a release. It's like, okay. Yeah, that's so nice. So nice to have. Go ahead, Mallory.
Sorry, y'all can't bow fish in the winter, right?
No.
Are your lakes frozen?
We're, to be honest with you, pretty much from like the end of October up until, honestly, end of March, we're pretty froze up.
Yeah.
So it
we
makes it tough.
still go in the winter.
Yeah, you guys are lucky. We're up here, and we see all these pictures. I'm sure you're somebody who does this to us. We're sitting up here. There's 2 feet of ice, and all of a sudden we're seeing all these pictures of people taking us and pictures of shooting fish. We're like, oh.
Yep, that's us.
Yeah,
we do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, Mallory. In a predominantly male-dominated sport, it's really cool to see females embracing the sport. You know, it's just so cool to see that demographic getting into it. How has your experience been as far as trying to get other females like yourself into the sport?
I have a lot of friends, really close friends that are females that bow fish, and they always want to go with us. And I think too, just by posting on social media and doing videos and stuff like on Instagram and TikTok, I think that just kind of gives examples to other people too, that other females can do it just as easily as I can.
Right.
And it encourages them to show an interest in it. And I tell them about all my guides or my friends that are charters that they could book trips with. And I've had a few of my friends do that, and they love it.
Oh, really? That's cool. You're like you're an ambassador for the sport.
Well, I try to be because I love it so much. So I want to share that love with other people too, because it's such a passion of mine, and it's just so addicting. You know that too, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. It's like you go in stages, you know, as far as hunting, fishing, bow fishing, whatever it is. It's like you get bit by the bug and you just want to go as much as you can. And then you kind of grow into like, I want to do this. I want to spread my love of the sport to other people. Do you kind of have that same feel about it?
Yes. Yeah. I actually took my mom with me not too long ago. And yeah, she was hitting fish too. She was hitting little gar, and I was proud of her. She loved it.
Yeah. How cool is that? That's awesome. That's awesome. You were, I think, I don't know if, I hope I'm not mistaken here. Did I see an Instagram post of you shooting some frogs recently?
Yes, I did. We shot frogs.
Do you guys I mean, when I saw that, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's a better shot than I am.
Oh, yeah, it was fun. We shot bullfrogs in a pond.
Do you guys eat frogs down there?
Yes.
Oh.
You all eat frog legs?
No.
You don't?
No, we don't eat frog legs.
Oh, well, that's a thing down here. We eat frog legs. People go frog digging a lot, but we decided to go try and shoot a couple of them. So
how did they taste?
It was fun.
They taste good?
They taste really good. A lot of people say that they taste like chicken.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, next time we're out and I see a big old bullfrog, I won't hit him, but I'll sling an arrow at him.
You could probably hit them. I'm sure you could.
Oh, yeah.
It is fun. It's a challenge.
Oh, yeah, I bet. Instead of shooting, a bigger sized fish, that's a tiny little target.
Yeah, it was fun. I actually shot a crawfish the other night, too.
What? Did you just slice it in half?
Yeah, I did. I have a picture of it. I should have posted it and tagged y'all.
Yeah, that would have been good. I know when Matt and I are out on the water and the fishing's slow, anything floating around in the water, a stick, a leaf, it's pretty much all going to be fair game. We're going to just try to sling it and just see if we can, fill the void where there's no fish.
Oh, yeah. I know that feeling, too.
Yeah. So, Mallory, we've all got some bowfishing stories here. I'll share a couple. If you've got one that comes to mind, any crazy, wacky bowfishing stories that you've experienced since you started?
Well, I have almost been swung off the boat by a grassy and a stingray.
Oh, my gosh.
I saw my life flash before my eyes with those.
Can you walk us through that experience?
Well, the stingray was bigger than I thought it was going to be, so I pulled the brake on my reel and almost went in the water, but I let go, and then we got him in. But then the grassy, I shot him, and one of my friends was supposed to get my backup shot, and he missed, and the fish went the opposite direction. Uh-oh. And so we had to turn the airboat around, and he was like, hold on, and my line spooled out, and it snatched me, and I caught myself on the light rail.
Oh, my gosh.
It scared, yeah. I thought I was about to get ran over, but I was just hugging my boat, just sitting at the dude's feet that was driving.
Yeah, that's a close call there. Good Lord.
It was. No, I was going to say, and I think the worst thing, not the worst, but I was Snapchatting a beaver, and we my friend was like, hold on, and we hit a stump, and I literally did a front flip off the boat with my phone and my bow in my hand. In November, it was cold.
Oh my gosh. Did the phone survive?
It did, and I got the bow back, but on the ride back when we were on plane, I just kind of huddled down between the front wall of the airboat and the fish barrel. It was cold.
Yeah, I bet. That's going to be chilly. Okay, let me ask you this. In November up here, it's like 20 degrees outside. What is November weather down there?
I mean, every now and then you'll get a kind of warmer day, like maybe 60s, but I'd say typically it's like 40, 50 at night here in November.
Wow.
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, that's not bad. So, all right,
No.
I got a couple stories I'll tell you if you want to hear them.
Yes. I definitely want to hear it.
So this first one, I think Matt and I did a podcast. Boy, I think this is going to be anywhere, episode 60, 61, anywhere around there. And back in like episode 3 or 4, I think we just shared 3 or 4 of our wildest stories. And I had one of them that I had a bunch of people message me back on. They're like, that is not true. That did not happen. And I swear on my life, Mallory, what I'm about to tell you 100% happened. All right?
Okay.
So not only was this given day, it was probably this time of year, probably 6 or 7 years ago. I was just first kind of getting into bow fishing, to be honest with you. I'd maybe been working at AMS Megamouth here for maybe a year or so.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple buddies of mine said, hey, let's go down. The buffs are spawning. Let me ask you that, Mallory. Do you guys have any kind of a buff spawn down there that you guys are targeting? Buffalo?
I don't have buffalo here in Georgia.
Okay.
Or we don't. I've been in Alabama and shot them.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, well, up here it can get crazy up here. Like the buff spawn is kind of known as the pinnacle up here of the bow fishing season, if you will.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it can be absolutely wild. But so a couple buddies of mine called me up and they said, "Hey, the buffs are spawning. Let's go shoot some fish." I'm all for it. We go down there and it was one of the best days, even to this day. It was one of the best days of bow fishing that I've ever had. Okay. The fish were in so thick that you were actually hurting yourself being in a boat. So we just hopped out of the boat barefoot, and we're just walking around shooting fish. As we'd shoot a fish, we'd take it back to the boat or put it on shore to go collect later. But we were literally,
Oh my God.
yeah. I mean, it's crazy. It was crazy. I think we shot and this is in maybe 5 or 6 hours. We shot 300 fish, and it was just, you could stand in one spot and shoot 5 or 6 and just bring them in, get them off, shoot another one. It was just wild. It was really cool.
Oh my, that is cool. What size were they?
And I'm talking anywhere from, you got your smaller males, 15 pounds up to, you're talking 40-pound females. I would say on this day, maybe our biggest one I think was like 44.
Oh wow, that would be so much fun.
Oh yeah, it is. It's a blast for sure. But we're wading through the water. We're just having a spectacular time. And actually, just a little bit of a predecessor here to the main story here. I remember I shot a female, and what happens is these fish you've got your female in the middle, and you got a bunch of males pushing on her. Okay, they're pushing eggs out of her, and then they're fertilizing those eggs as they drop out of her. So it's a big cluster, a big spawning pot of. It could be anywhere from 2 or 3 up to 5 or 6 fish. Just a big line of fish. It's really cool to see. And I remember I shot a female, and as I was bringing her in, I brought her in to me, reeled her in. Those males, I'm not sure what was going through their head, but they were so in the zone that they started pushing against my legs. Are
you serious?
I had male buffalo swimming in and around my legs. I had the female there. I'm sure that was the what they were drawn to, but they were swimming in and around. I could feel scales on my feet. It was crazy, just wild.
Oh my God.
So we shoot all these fish, having a great time. Towards the end of the day, and this is all daytime shooting, obviously, so it's a fun deal. We kind of got back into an area that had some deeper water, but we were looking for some bigger fish. We were looking for, and I think we ended up shooting that 44-pounder back in this little pocket. But
right.
What I would do is I found a couple rocks that I could stand on just to get a little bit better view, because we're wading in. This water was getting a little high, in that, if you can imagine, that refraction of the water gets to be a little difficult when you're so level with it.
Oh yeah.
Instead of being up in a boat, you're kind of you're level with the water. And so I found these 2 rocks, and I'm standing up on these rocks, whatever, and all of a sudden I feel something down by my feet, and I feel like I'm getting lowered into the water almost. Okay, and this is going to sound wild, but I swear on God, this is 100% true, okay?
Okay.
So I look down at my right foot, and I'm like, okay, I'm on a rock here. This is normal. I look down at my left foot. Here, my left foot is giving out. It's just slowly moving away from me. And I'm like, what in the world is going on? Mallory, the rock that I had stepped on was the shell of a huge snapping turtle.
What?
Yes. And it was sick of me standing on it, and it started to move, and as it was moving, I was doing the splits. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yes. I tell that story. No one believes me. I swear to God that happened. It's just
funny.
Yeah. Just whenever somebody is like, oh, you ever have anything crazy happen? It's not about shooting a big fish. It's not about any product. It's about me stepping on a snapping turtle.
Too bad nobody has that on video.
I know. We had no cameras. I wasn't in the filming world when it happened. It was just wild. But yeah, that's my crazy story, if you will.
That's really funny though. That is wild. I can't imagine seeing a snapping turtle that big.
I'm not gonna lie, I freaked out.
I would have too.
And then I'm sitting there thinking to myself, do you know how easy it would have been for me to, put my foot, near its mouth and not step right on there? I'd have lost a couple toes.
Yeah, for sure. I was just thinking that too.
Yeah. So Mallory, in a lot of these videos that I see, you're shooting the megamouth reel. That's awesome to see. We love even just our whole social media aspect of things, especially this time of year, has been spectacular. We love seeing you guys out in the field enjoying the reel. That's really cool. But I will ask you, you shoot the megamouth. What separates it from other reels that you have maybe shot in the past? Or if you haven't shot a ton, what are your favorite aspects of the reel? Just to get a little bit of a feel of what kind of drew you to shoot the megamouth.
Yeah, I really haven't shot. I don't have a lot of experience with different reels, but I have shot the push button reels.
Sure.
And I can't tell you how many times I dry fired my friend's bow that was letting me borrow it because I went to Texas to shoot. I dry fired it so many times because I kept forgetting to press the button.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so, yeah, I think that's my favorite part of the megamouth is that for me, it's just easy to use and you don't have to remember to press a button.
Right.
And I've also had that same reel since I started bow fishing 2 years ago, and so I've had zero issues. So it's a really tough reel too. So
That's awesome. That's great
Yeah.
to hear. That's exactly what we designed it for.
yeah, it
That's
definitely. I mean, I've shot some pretty big fish and shot it a lot, and she's still growing strong.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's great to hear. Mallory, do you have a favorite species that you like to target? Just that we're talking about shooting fish here.
I probably would say gar are my favorite.
Okay.
I grew up watching River Monsters,
Oh,
and I remember
same
being
here. Same here.
Yes.
Love Jeremy Wade.
Yeah, me too. But I remember being younger and like I don't know why, but I was always like, I just want to catch a gar so bad, and I'd never even seen one. And then when I started bow fishing, I couldn't believe how they're just all around you. Like they're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that's probably my favorite.
Shooting gar. Yeah, whenever we're out and about, Matt never likes to shoot gar because he always wants to shoot just big buffs and commons, and I'm like, oh, I can't help.
Oh, really?
I can't help myself.
Yeah, I can't either. I love
It's-
them. I'm
they're s-
fascinated by
Yeah,
them.
they're so fun. I like shooting them. I like shooting them.
What's your favorite?
Oh, okay. I'm gonna break that down into two different. I'm trying to think here. It's either buffalo, or big heads.
Okay.
You ever targeted big heads before, Mallory?
I've not shot a big head. We went to Kentucky last summer. Actually, you got 2 paddlefish, which those
Oh.
are probably those might be my favorite.
Sure. Yeah, that's a very unique trophy. That's very cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I never got to shoot a big head.
Did you guys target them at all when you were down there?
We went during the daytime and we're trying to shoot some, but it was raining, and I mean, I think I shot at one and I missed, and you know those silvers are everywhere. I missed and kept hitting silvers.
Mm-hmm. I think you could just aim, down some areas down in Kentucky. You could just shoot an arrow into the water and you'll shish kebab 3 or 4 silvers when they're in there thick. It's just wild.
It is.
But
Crazy.
with those big heads, I will say, like, we my favorite time to target them. Okay, I'm going to give you an answer here. I'm going to say that buffs are my favorite species to target. All right, I love that buff spawn. It's wild. But my favorite type of bow fishing is targeting big heads. So let me explain that to you. When we're out at night, we don't have any lights on, no generators running. We just have the trolling motor going. It's pitch black out. And what we're doing there is we're just scanning the water with our lights. We have Spec Ops lights mounted on our bows. So what you're doing is you're looking for that. It looks like a 5-gallon bucket, that white mouth in the water. They're up surface feeding, okay?
Okay.
When you shine that light and you see a fish, you immediately turn that light off. You scan your light around looking, you do that for a while, and then, oh, there's a fish right there. Then you got to kind of sneak up on them and kind of remember where they're at and draw back, hit your light again, and hopefully that fish is still up, and then that's how you're shooting them.
Oh, wow. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, it's more of like a hunting aspect, if you will. You know what I mean?
Right.
But, yeah, big heads are a blast, but, boy, I'm conflicted here. But I guess I'd have to stick with buffs. I think we'd have to go with buffs as my favorite, just because it can be so chaotic. But
right.
But yeah,
I bet that is fun.
Oh,
shooting a spawn like that.
You should come up here, Mallory, at some point. If you ever find yourself up in Wisconsin in this May time frame, reach out. If the buffs are going, we'll take you down, and hopefully we can hit it right, and you'll really enjoy it.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
What time of year?
Honestly, we have such a late spring up here this year. I think last year, I'm trying to think, we really hit it really well. I want to say it was like May 11th, May 10th or 11th.
Okay.
And so that's coming up. That's, like right now, pretty much.
Right.
But Matt was just down on the water here a couple weeks ago. And this podcast, depending on when we air this, the spawn could be over by now. But he was telling me that the water temperature had to come up almost 20 degrees yet for things to really get wild. So we're a ways away yet.
Oh, wow.
So I'm guessing latter part of May, will be the best time to go out and do that. Mid to late May this year. But it usually falls anywhere in that 2 to 3 week span, in May. But
so do y'all have a lot of big heads up there?
No, we do not have big heads up in Wisconsin. We do not. When I'm talking about targeting them, we're actually down in Kentucky.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
I hadn't heard of that, so I wasn't sure.
You guys have a preferred time of year to chase after fish in Georgia, Mallory?
I think the fall is probably my favorite because I feel like that's when the bigger fish come out.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Very cool. And you're not shooting fish just in Georgia, correct? I saw some pictures. You were out on the East Coast shooting some snakeheads, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I was in Maryland 2 weeks ago, and we were shooting goldfish and snakeheads.
Oh,
so
my
yeah,
gosh.
I love traveling and going to different states to shoot. I just love learning about different species and like all the invasive species and their environments and how they affect the water and all that stuff. Like it just fascinates me too.
Right. And I'm just curious. Do you guys like up here? We've had a couple bodies of water, and I'm talking about over probably the last 10 or 20 years. This has happened gradually. Down in Georgia, I'm guessing bass fishing's pretty big. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Do you guys have any bodies of water that you guys have seen as far as the sport fishing aspect of things for bass fishing and whatnot that over the last decade or so that that sport fishing aspect has gotten worse and worse because the carp population is growing?
Yeah, I would say so. When we go out on the lakes and stuff, I really haven't. I mean, we see small bass, but we really don't see that many big ones anymore.
Sure. Just because I know there's a couple of bodies of water, just here in Wisconsin that, oh my gosh, 100%, it's been affected big time. There's all kinds of commons and buffs swimming around, and they rut up that habitat for local game fish, and it really, it takes a toll over 10 years of doing that. Pretty soon your population of sport fish is way down.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But, and I know that's one thing we always like to tell people too. You'd be amazed how many times we're at a show or something and people will come up and be like, so do you guys just like shoot bass and walleyes all the time? It's like, no, we are not. We are not out doing that. That is not the goal. We're shooting invasive species that, we want to rid the waterways of, just to make the local game fish have a little bit better of an area to swim around and live in.
Right.
But,
I was just going to say, like, and I see people, especially on social media, get so mad about, like, people who shoot numbers.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, what do y'all do with all those fish? But I guess they don't realize, like, it's legal. There's a reason that there's numbers, shoots, and tournaments and stuff because the water is just overpopulated.
Exactly.
You don't.
Exactly. Yep. You ever think about shooting tournaments, Mallory?
I really want to. I've never shot one, but hopefully I'll be able to get in on some soon.
Yeah. Do you guys have a good amount of them down there?
We do. There's a lot. I know there's a lot in South Carolina.
Okay.
I hear about those a lot.
Sure.
Are y'all going to Worlds this year?
We are not going to shoot the tournament, but we will have a booth set up. We'll have an AMS Megamouth booth set up. Wendy here from the shop and her husband Keith are going to be down there. You're not making your way up here for that, are you?
I'm not.
No. Okay. Gotcha. But yeah, over there, that's going to be a huge event here. I think that's in, what's the date today? Today's 9th.
I think it's next weekend.
Yeah, I think so. Like, yeah, somewhere around there. So that's gonna be a big event there. All kinds of tournaments this time of year. It's a rich environment for getting out and shooting tournaments. So yeah, everybody's kind of getting busy, like we were talking about earlier. It's the time of year to get out and shoot some fish. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So Mallory, just tell our listeners here. I very much appreciate you coming on, but you just want to tell our listeners where they can follow you and find you. I know you have a huge TikTok following, don't you?
Yeah, I'm getting there. I love posting on TikTok and just sharing my adventures on there. But yeah, my TikTok it's Mallory _ Grace 3, and then my Instagram is just Mallory Grace 3.
Perfect. A very good follow, I will say, as far as bowfishing content and everything. I'm not gonna lie, if you guys go out and follow her, you're gonna be jealous at some point. Okay.
Well, thank you.
You're gonna be sitting at work, and Mallory's gonna post a picture of a big fish and be thinking, God. Man, I wish that was me.
Or a frog.
Or a frog, yep. Or a goldfish, all kinds of species down there. Very cool.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, Mallory, I'll let you get back to it here. I appreciate you coming on here, doing a quick little podcast for us. And best of luck on the water. Thank you so much for joining the Bowfishing Buzz today.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Mallory. Bye.
Bye.
Well, there you guys have it. Mallory Grace Potter on the podcast. Very nice girl there. Again, like we just kind of touched on with Mallory, so cool to see females in the sport. And it, we see it in our demographics. It's mostly a male dominated sport, but it's so cool to see female teams at a tournament or a wife shooting or just people getting out and shooting in that female category. That's so very cool to see. But yeah, that's Mallory Grace out there. Like I said, like she said, TikTok, Instagram, a good follow there. I tell you what, guys, this is going to be a little bit of a different outro here. We're going to put a couple podcasts in the can here just because we have got all kinds of stuff to go and do this time of year. But let me just reach over. I'm taking over Matt's duties today. Yeah, you guys know. There we go. Yep, Derek does know how to work that Rodecaster. Thank you for listening, guys. best of luck on the water. Hopefully you guys can get out this time of year. It's getting good. Send us some pictures. Use the discount codes. We're trying to save you guys some money. Thank you so much. From all of us here at Megamouth and AMS, we wish you the best of luck. And remember, aim low and think big. Thanks for listening, guys.